So honestly, what I think we should do with our little extra bit of money that we share is to make it short. We're going to find a way to let our listeners tell us what game we are going to bet on Sunday and let it ride. And I think maybe they should just pick it every week after they keep winning. I don't know what you think about that.
Right away when you told me, I said, you know what, this is a terrible idea. And then I thought, you know what, it can't be any worse than what you've been in the NFL this year. So with that, I'm on board. And let's get loaded, because this is the Loaded Box Podcast.
Where we never finish first because we finish last.
DJ, do you honestly think that it's a good idea for us to put our hard-earned money that we stumbled into, that we share money right now? We're going to let the listeners decide. The people that are listening to me speak right now, they are going to get the pick.
I honestly think there's a better chance that they get it right than any chance that we get it right. Like, I think we could let, like, a bird fly out of the air and pick up a random piece of corn on the ground, and we decide which teams
belong to each piece of corn,
and whichever it takes is what we're taking.
Well, maybe we'll try that next week if the listeners don't go through this week. So like DJ said, this is our Against the Spread Picks podcast. It's our second Week 7 preview podcast of the week. If you missed the first one, go back and check that one out. We got you ready for the week in fantasy football. But in this one specifically, we do game by game throughout the entire schedule. Straight up picks. Against the spread picks. We let you know which ones we're counting for our overall record for the year. And like DJ said, we are going to put out, you said a Twitter poll, correct?
Yeah.
So a Twitter poll that has a game that I apparently want to bet on, a game that DJ apparently wants to bet on, and then a game that we mutually decide on. And then we are going to let you, our Twitter followers, check us out at Loaded Box, vote. And our hard-earned money that we share, this is a complex story, is going to be bet on that game. So you guys can make us money. And if you do, we'll do something nice to you. I don't know what the hell that's going to be. And if you don't, apparently we're going to rely on a bird and a piece of corn.
So, and it's going to be great, though, because, like, we're going to just keep letting it ride, like, maybe, college football, NFL, keep letting it ride until it gets so big. Because I'm confident at this point, I'm so confident in this, that eventually we're going to have, like, $100,000, and we're going to have to take it to Vegas and start betting it on blackjack and shit like that, and we're just going to keep letting it ride.
You don't have to talk me into it, but tell you what, we might be due to win, because last week we combined to go 1-5-1 for negative 9 units. But I guarantee you, people had a good time listening to us talk about the games.
I should have hit the Browns. I don't know what happened in that game, but I felt so confident, like, halfway through and into the third quarter. I was like, no way, the Browns are going to do exactly what I said. Money line, cover the spread. I won with the Browns again, like I did 2 weeks ago. And then I don't know what they did. Baker Mayfield threw some interceptions. They shit down their leg. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
Yeah, it's been bad news. Well, let's kick off Week 7, damn it, with a real intriguing one here. We got the Cardinals at the Giants. DJ, the numbers I say might be a little bit different because I put them on there so early the numbers may have changed. But I've got the Giants favored by 3 with an over-under of 50. What do you have for this one?
Well, here's the thing about the numbers. I come into here blind, so you could have told me that you just put them on there 10 seconds ago, and I wouldn't have known.
They're placeholding digits, as all these numbers are to you.
They're just numbers to me. I don't give a fuck what they are. Cardinals versus Giants is a shit show.
Yes.
Like,
say no more. Just end it there.
It looks like the Giants are getting Saquon back. They're getting Sterling Shepard to play. Daniel Dimes is playing. They're playing at home. Cardinals aren't good. People are like trying to jump on this Cardinals ride like they've played a couple of good teams after their couple of wins, but they're not. They're bad. They're a bad football team. I actually think the Giants, going from west to east, win this game and cover the spread with that resurgence of Saquon Barkley coming in, just running for 700 yards down their throat.
So when Daniel Jones was just playing in his second or third game of the season, he was Danny Dimes. Now that he's got 4 games under his belt, he's now Daniel Dimes. Did you just make him seniority there?
Giving him Daniel Dimes. It's way more fun to say.
Oh, I'm with you on this game. Just a shit show. Just a collision course of just bad teams with bad offensive lines.
Uh-oh.
I was going to go Cardinals right away, thinking, you know what, Murray's got a little something going. They have a terrible offensive line, but he's mobile enough to make things happen versus the Giants. But you mentioned Saquon coming back, and that's enough for me. Usually I don't want to let one guy, especially a running back, tilt it into my favor.
Oh,
You okay, DJ?
that one came out of nowhere. I couldn't even cough button that bitch.
You allergic to that beer? What kind of beer you got, you said?
It's not any fruity at all. I don't know. It's called Ale Smith Juice Stand, but there's no. Yeah, it's not what I thought. It's beer. It's good.
Ale Smith had chew stand? Is that what you call
Ale
it?
Smith Juice Stand.
Oh, gotcha. I honestly can't card this game. I can't make it an official pick. Gun to my head. I'm with you. I'm going to go Saquon, the Resurgence, the Giants, and Daniel Dimes. You sold it to me with Daniel Dimes, DJ.
Yeah, absolutely. How can you not jump on Daniel Dimes?
Let's go on to the next ones. It's the Texans at the Colts. I have the Colts favored by 1 over under of 47.
Oh, this one's tough. Texans are on a little bit of a heater. I don't know why you keep erasing things on the board. It's fucking with my brain. I talked about Jacoby Brissett and his matchup against the Texans, and the Texans' pass defense on the road hasn't been good. Colts have a decent defense, and I think Texans just came off a huge win. You know what? I'm going to card this one because it seems like a lot of the public's going to be on the Texans. I'm down 24 units. It's going to be all 5-unit bets today, everybody. It's Colts -1 versus the Texans at home. They're gonna come in fresh off the bye week. Texans off a tough game, playing against the Chiefs where they expect a lot of energy. Brissett's going to have a huge game. Defense is going to play well. Let's not forget that Deshaun Watson, he played against a really bad Chiefs defense that's not sacking the quarterback. He's going to get sacked again like 4 or 5 times. It's just going to go back to what it was because their offensive line is bad. The Colts -1, I love that this week. I would put 10 units on that if I could.
I told you before we started that I didn't have enough time to correctly label my picks the way I wanted to. I did get to dissect the games. I just didn't get to put units towards them.
Oh.
And I switched. I was all about the Texans in this one. And then I'm like, wait a minute. That's because of what we saw recently. We saw them have a nice comeback win against the Chiefs. The Chiefs kind of got screwed a little bit here and there. But man, the Colts, it's not like the Colts just didn't come off beating the Chiefs. That was their last game. They went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs, played great defensively along the way. Now they have a bye week to prepare. You have the Texans coming from that road game to another road game after basically a very emotional win. That is kind of a recipe for disaster. This line stays under 3. I'm going Colts, so at -1, board it. We're together on one, DJ. I think this might be our one play that we can put on the Twitter poll because we agree. I'm going a unit on the Colts.
I love it.
And since I'm just going a unit, we might want to make it our bet.
Fuck it, we're not putting it up. We're betting this game.
We take it back, listeners. No, I'm just kidding.
It's still -1. I actually decided to pull up all the current spreads, and it's still that one.
Yeah, so we're both on that one. Let's check out this AFC East battle between the Dolphins and the Bills. The Bills are favored by 17. We have the over-under at 41.
In what world are the Bills favored by 17 fucking points? Like,
Miami world, that's the only place.
Yeah, their defense is good. Their offense is nothing exciting, but they're a solid team. Josh Allen runs around a little bit. Devin Singletary's back, so he should have a big game if he gets a full load in his mouth. I can see him going for about 100 and something bucks, 100 yards if he gets 15 to 20 carries and a score. I think I might plug him in over Le'Veon Bell this week. I'm not even kidding.
Not a bad play because they play the Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. So I'm like, I think I have to do that. This is tough. This is really tough.
What are you debating, carding it or not?
See, I think Josh Rosen's better against good teams than Ryan Fitzpatrick. So you put Ryan Fitzpatrick against a good defense, and I feel like he's going to throw 10 interceptions. Like, I think Josh Rosen is a much better decision maker in general. So I think the Bills are going to just run them. I think it could be 25 points.
Are you carding it?
No, fuck that.
Okay, so straight up I'm going Bills. Against the spread, I'm going to go the Dolphins, actually. Here's my theory. Yeah, the Bills' defense is borderline like a top 5. I don't know the stats on it offhand, but they've been really good this year, and the Dolphins aren't something that you really need to prep for anyways in order to stop, so I don't think they're going to have any issues. But that Bills' offense, they'll probably end up looking pretty good in this game, but it's 17 points for the Buffalo Bills. It goes back to what you said right away. I don't expect the Dolphins to be really close in this game, but even if it's like a 20, 23-point game in the fourth quarter, Fitzmagic at the end to a Devontae Parker, we saw it happen last week, they can get a touchdown at the end and make this one close. Not carding it, but I would go Dolphins against the spread here. 17, I think, is just too much for the Bills against basically anybody. And how about this? What about the theory that Miami Dolphins are starting Ryan Fitzpatrick over Josh Rosen because they think maybe Rosen is be like the backup for Tua next year, and they literally don't want to see him get his head cut off against this defense this Sunday?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because maybe they don't want him to play too good or get better throughout the season, and they had an excuse to bench him and keep him on their roster so nobody will try to come after him. I feel bad for the guy. He's a good quarterback who's landed in two of the worst situations in the world. He's going to be the only quarterback to go to two places where they're going to draft a quarterback.
being a first round, being a first round pick, and then having two number one guys.
He never had a chance. He's never had a real chance ever.
You know, it's pretty unprecedented. Like you said, you got to feel bad for the guy. He had all the offensive coordinators in college. Then he had a couple different ones in Arizona. Now he's got a new one already in by going to Miami. And then who the hell knows what's going to happen next year? So, yeah.
I really hope he ends up in Green Bay.
It's going to be Green Bay or New England. He'll be a Hall of Famer. Give it time.
I could see New England going there too, going after him.
Well, we go from the AFC East to the NFC North. We got the Vikings now favored by 2 over the Lions, over under a 43.5. What do you got here?
Well, here's what I got. I think the Vikings stink. I think they're not really that good. They've played against two really good or really favorable matchups going to this. Vikings -2. People are going to jump all over the Vikings here. But they're going into Detroit. Lions coming off of a tough loss. I know the Vikings defense is pretty much tops in every single category. But I gotta go. I think the Lions win this game. I think the Lions are good enough to split with the Vikings home and away this year. I think the Vikings win this game. I would sprinkle money line. Let's just go money line on its own. That's gonna be my card of the game. Money line by itself. Lions 5 units because they're dogs by 2 points. So why would you even take the -2? Because you can fuck yourself. Money line. Let's do this.
So I was just thinking about this too, because this will be now, I believe, the 3rd time you've taken a money line as a carded play. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We should actually give you more than 5 units if you hit that, because with your money line, you're giving away the points. Time. Yeah. You said that before?
Yeah, I said that in the last one. I'm like, wait, when I hit the Browns one, I'm like, how do I only get 5 units for this when you get to win, you end up winning 10 units on it or whatever.
Because I don't know how the math works, DJ. Come up with a formula. I'll change all of our year-to-date lines. I'll give you some new points. So you're technically doing better than what we think you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're going to go back down because you're going to lose this one because it's my second carded play of Week 7. I'm going to go the Vikings. I know it's the trendy pick. They've looked good for 2 weeks. You get the Lions coming off of a loss. You've got the Vikings with an intimidating defense. I just think at a certain point, we're going to see this division really level out to where we thought it was going to be. It's going to be the Vikings. It's going to be the Packers. It's going to be the Bears. Those are going to be the teams when it's all said and done competing for this. We're going to see a little bit of a trickle down from the Lions here now. I know that they looked pretty good on Monday night. They've got a nice record. They probably should have won the Monday night game. But
fuck off.
I'm sorry. It is what it is.
That's not true.
I think it is.
Well, we're forgetting that Aaron Jones literally got. Why is nobody talking about how Aaron Jones got saced from last year? Do you guys not remember him running a wheel route and getting lit up on the left side by a guy when the ball was in the air?
We ignore him because he fumbled in the game against the Lions and backed it up with literally a drop on a ball Aaron Rodgers handed to his face at the goal line.
I was upset, okay? But why are we forgetting that he got hit? It was the same thing. Why is nobody talking about that? Because they can use their narrative to fit their stupid little, their narratives. They can use whatever they're saying to fit their narrative, and it's just not true because it happened to both teams. He got lit up earlier in that game, and it was literally the Saints play where he got hit while the ball was in the air and never gonna have a chance to go to it. Why does nobody talk about that?
You spend your time living in the past, DJ, in betting you're going to finish last. Just came up with that on my own. Write that down.
I'm fine. Everybody complained, but we're winners. We're 5-1. We're leading the NFC North, and we're on our way to the Super Bowl. So fuck right off.
1 unit Minnesota Vikings. Put it to your bookie. Text it to them. Whatever you need to do to get that in. Put 1 unit on the Vikings. Let's go to the Raiders at the Packers. Let me look this up here. So now we have the Packers favored by 5 with an over/under of 47. DJ, go.
All right, Raiders.
That's it?
That's it. Remember? This is what I do. Just Raiders.
So you're really going to play this card now because it's worked a couple times?
Yeah, Raiders, straight up Raiders against the spread.
So you, as the two of us, you're the one that's the Packers fan. You're the one that can give the listeners the most insight about this team. You're going to punt, and you're going to put me breaking this down as a guy that, I watch every Packers game, but I'm not diving into every single play the way you are. You're going to put this on my shoulders. That's what you're doing?
I can tell you this. The Packers had 3 wide receivers that did not practice today. Jimmy Graham did not practice. Kenny Clark did not practice. We had I think Tremont Williams did not practice. Is there more? Darnell Savage did not practice. We have guys not practicing. So honestly, 5 cannot be right anymore. Like, it had to have moved.
I just looked at the update because we are recording this on Thursday, right before the Thursday night football game. And I've got Packers 5. And I saw that line. I mean, I saw that injury report as well. What the hell? Like, does Aaron Rodgers better love that lizard guy as much as you say he does?
He does. But I like I said, maybe we don't know that Devontae's going to be back. And
but he didn't practice today. That scares the shit out of me.
Maybe maybe the gamblers know. Maybe the guys who made these lines are like, Devontae's playing. They've heard the word on the street. He's running around outside of practice or something like that, catching balls or things like that, and they're just keeping it a secret. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to the game, so I'm hoping. But I told you, I said I was actually nervous about this game coming into it before the injuries because we just came off a Monday night game on a short week. The Raiders coming off a bye. It's scary. That's scary. It's just a scary recipe, and it was a tough game. Like, we're depleted. It's rough, but I'm gonna just pick the Raiders so the Packers can keep winning.
I'm fairly confident when you go to that game, you should bring your cleats and bring your helmet.
Yeah,
because there's not a lot of receivers left on that team. And that number 10 that played, like, if he keeps falling down and letting the ball hit himself in the face and cause interceptions, you're gonna get a call if you're there.
Yeah, I actually have a helmet. 300, the actual Packers helmet sitting in display. I'll throw that fucker on right now.
Yeah, display it on the field for us, would you?
Yeah, I will. I can't wait.
All right, if you're making me do this, straight up, I have to take the Packers. It's at Lambeau. It's still the Raiders. That game against the Bears was so messed up. The Bears couldn't have played worse in the first half of that game, and they were literally going down the field to take the lead at the end of that game against the Raiders. And I think Daniels either fumbled or I think he threw an interception at that point and pretty much killed their hopes. I just think the Bears, if they would have played even average in the first half of the game, they would have beat the Raiders. I'm not totally set on the Raiders yet, especially on the road. But here's the thing. Against the spread, 5 seems like a lot right now because of what you said about all those injuries. That's way too much. I, in a perfect world, would hope that this line would even bump up to like 6. Maybe if it could get to 7, which is a lot at this point. I don't think it's going to go that high. If anything, it'd probably drop lower. But if you could get the Packers at a touchdown here, I would pound the Raiders. But as of right now, it's not a card to pick, but I am going to take the Raiders.
It's 5.5 now, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
See, there you go. It's on the climb. I might have to do it through you.
Yeah, maybe right in my butt.
Oh gosh, this is not good because this next game I had as a carded play. I had the Jaguars at -3.5 at the Bengals. It's now 4.5, and I was going to tell you to buy the hook to make it 3. So as you break down this game, I'm going to reassess where I am on it, but the over/under is 44. I'll let you go from there.
Well, I believe in Gardner Minshew, and I believe that he will win. The Bengals. Fournette's going to have a game. They're just coming off a loss. Fournette's going to have a game. Minshew's going to have a game. There's going to be a lot of people having games. Bengals stink. I know that they don't have Jalen Ramsey. That's fine. They still have tons of guys. They're still Saxonville. Dalton's going to be It's so bad in Cincinnati that AJ Green just isn't going to play. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the fact that AJ Green's just not playing.
Yeah, I mean, they say he's like out there practicing and like catching balls and stuff, but he's just not doing anything.
He's just not playing. Like, this guy does not want to play football for this football team.
Would you?
No, absolutely not. And I don't blame him. Hopefully he ends up in Green Bay so he can have the two best fucking wide receiver combination in the entire league. And we can put Lazard out there with him. So it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to side Jay. I'm not going to card this one. It's too scary. Because it's at Cincinnati and it is kind of a rat line. But I believe in Gardner Minshew. I would side Jags both ways here.
All right, you've given me enough time to figure this one out. It was 3.5. I was going to tell you to buy the hook, but now I'm going to tell you swallow all 4.5 picks. It's the Jags straight up. It's the Jags against the spread. And what put me over the top wasn't your talk about Gardner Minshew. It wasn't this whole AJ Green deal. It was the fact that the Jaguars have been riding Leonard Fournette. They're going to continue doing so against literally the league's worst rushing defense. 25 carries, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's my fantasy football dream. More realistically, cut like 5-10% off of everything I just said. But I'm going to do it, DJ. I'm going to go a unit. I'm going to take the Jaguars here. Put it on my card.
I need Gardner Minshew to run in like 3 touchdowns in order for me to make any sort of run in this touchdown league because I'm fucked.
Bet you never thought your starting quarterback in a league where touchdowns are heavy dependent was going to be Gardner Minshew.
You know who my new quarterbacks are right now?
Who?
They are Kyle Allen and Gardner Minshew. That's who I'm deciding between because Cam Newton's a little bitch.
If you make money, you have all the bragging rights in the world.
I'm not even close to making money.
There's a lot of season left, DJ. Have some faith.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I drafted like I felt that day.
Hungover in case you missed that episode.
Just like fucking shit.
We've got the Rams visiting the Falcons. We got the Rams now favored by 2.5, an over-under of 54.5.
You know what? Fuck the Falcons.
Yep.
I say every week I said pick against the Falcons, pick against the Falcons. Last week I said pick against the Falcons. You know what I did? I had somebody who's been very successful in picking games around 65-70%. I think around 70% in the NFL. I picked the Falcons against Atlanta, and so I jumped on it.
You took the Falcons against Atlanta?
I mean, Arizona.
There you go.
And I jumped on it, and you know what happened? Exactly what I knew what the fuck was going to happen. They screwed themselves over. They got way behind, had a chance to tie it, gave me some hope, and then how did I not know he was going to miss that fucking extra play?
Oh.
I should have known. Should have known. Because they're the fucking Atlanta Falcons. If your name's Matt Bryant or Matt Ryan, or it's really close to that same name, if your name's that close to Matt Ryan, you're screwing the team over at some point. Guaranteed. Fuck it. You know what? I haven't made this a carded play. I'm carding the Rams. 5 units.
From nothing to 5. I love it. So here's another one too that I'm liking. I'm liking the Rams straight up and against the spread. And yeah, Matt Bryant has never done a bad thing in his life. The Falcons are proving that they are so cursed and so down right now that even Matt Bryant, did you see him on the sideline looking like a 70-year-old man that just fell out of his wheelchair?
My wife goes, how old is he? He should not be playing football. I'm like, well, he's a fucking kicker. They can play forever.
No, it doesn't matter. He looks like the guy that I should be meeting with to do my financials with tomorrow. That's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, DJ. Based on what we just talked about, I wasn't going to card this one, but like I said, I didn't give him enough time to decide. So I almost feel like the spur of the moment bet here is just like it's too much because at some point aren't the Falcons going to be able to show up? It's a home game. They're favored by 2.5. They can kick a game-winning field goal and just win this one. The Ram. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sorry, I totally looked at that backwards. But you get what I'm saying. Like they could win this game at the end, and it really wouldn't surprise anyone the way the Rams have been playing. But have the Rams?
It would surprise me because it's the way the Falcons have been playing because they are trash.
It is, but are the Rams playing this bad because like they're missing a beat, or is it because they're playing good defenses?
It's because I don't care because they're playing the Falcons. It doesn't matter to me.
You talked me into it, DJ. I'm carding it. I'm going to go 1 unit. I'm going to go 1 unit.
You know what?
I'm
Put that
only
on the
doing
board as
1
one of the
units, I
picks.
feel like, today, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a unit on the Rams.
Put that on the board as one of the options.
We have 2 of those now. We'll have to decide. You'll see it on
No,
Twitter.
That's my pick, though.
Oh, that can be your pick. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in on that. Next one here. We've got the 49ers favored by 9 at the R words. Over under of 41.
I still don't believe in the Niners. Maybe I'm the worst, and maybe I'm just a hater.
But it's the Redskins.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I'm going to pick them straight up. But I've watched enough Jimmy Garoppolo to know that this team's not going to the Super Bowl. Like they're gonna lose a few games here. They might make the playoffs as a wild card spot or the division winner, but I'm guessing the Seahawks are going to end up winning that division.
Yeah.
And then they might grab a wild card spot in there. We'll see how the season goes here. But Jimmy Garoppolo is just not in. He makes too many turnovers, too many mistakes. He just doesn't throw the ball very well. Just overall, I'm going to go Redskins against the spread. I just think the Redskins can keep it within a shouting distance. I don't care how good that Niners defense is. I think everybody's got to be on the Niners. -9 doesn't even seem like enough to me. So that's why I'm jumping on the Redskins.
I'm going straight up and against the spread here with the 49ers. I'm not going to card it. But last Sunday when I was watching my freaking Miami Dolphins play, I was
Take the under.
Did you say take the under?
Yeah.
Okay. I was witnessing my one usual incompetent team. However, the team on the other side of the ball was just as incompetent. It was literally
awesome.
like, I've seen some bad football being a Dolphins fan over the years. I've seen some very bad football. Dolphins and Redskins were such a great matchup. They should have to play each other every single week because it'd be the only teams that they would be competitive against. They don't deserve to be playing these other teams. The 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo don't need to fire at all cylinders. You don't need Garoppolo to go out and look like a franchise quarterback this week. You literally need him to not fumble snaps, turn around and hand the ball off to Breida and Tevin Coleman, make a couple plays downfield to Dante Pettis because I have him in my fantasy lineup this week. And other than that, you're going to be just fine. That defense is going to take care of this R-words team. I might talk myself into this one, straight up and against the spread. I'm going to go 49ers all day.
Gross.
Well, let's talk really gross. Chargers and the new team with Ryan Tannehill. How funny is this? The Titans turn to Ryan Tannehill after a loss and are now favored that next week against a team some people thought were going to be winning the AFC West and maybe even make a run to the Super Bowl. And when I say some people, DJ, I mean you.
Oh, what week is it? Week 8?
This is 7.
7, okay, so Philip Rivers is still bad for 2 more weeks.
Yep, do the math.
Oh, I hate this game. I don't like the Chargers. I don't like their offensive line. Titans defense is playing well, but they don't know how to score offensively. Derrick Henry's going to have a fucking field day game. I imagine he's just going to go off, King. Shit. This is awful. Like, I don't even want to pick this game.
This is awful.
This is another under game as well that I would consider. 2.5. They're going to find a way to push 2.5 points. Oh, fuck. I don't even know. This is definitely not a carded game because he's so unbelievably not understanding. It's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to a field goal at the end.
It always does. It's the Chargers.
Titans might be down by like 1. I'm going to go Chargers against the spread. Titans win by 2.
Whew, that was very specific prediction.
Yeah.
I almost couldn't fathom all that, trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to say about this fucking train wreck of a game. What are you going to get out of the Titans with Tannehill? You know, and in my opinion, you might get a better offense. It's not going to be an explosive offense. It's not going to be the league's best by any means, but it might be a little bit more consistent. And I'm saying this after they didn't score a single point last week. How much worse can it get? And when you compare the Broncos defense, their opponent last week, to the Chargers defense this week, a team that the Chargers just gave up all the points in the world to the Steelers, at Tennessee, with the way their defense have been playing and the way that the Chargers' offensive line has not been creating running gaps, has not given Rivers any time. Dude, Melvin Gordon came back and that offense has just gotten worse. I don't know what the hell is going on there. They need to figure out some sort of balance. They seem lost right now. They don't really have that identity. It sounds terrible. I'm going to wear my Ryan Tannehill jersey on Sunday. I'm going on the Titans, man.
Word.
Oh, let's go. This is my game of the week, this next one here. It's the Ravens at the Seahawks. We have the Seahawks favored by 3, over under a 48.5.
I mean, this is one of those games where I just don't. I don't think the Ravens are good enough to win and stay in this game. I've seen their defense. The offense doesn't do enough for me. I don't think they really actually have that much of a chance to win this game. I really just don't like them. Russell overall is just way better than he in every aspect of the game. He's just better than Lamar. Like he even runs smarter. Like it's ridiculous. So I mean I'm gonna go with I'll go with the Seahawks, but both ways. But I am going to card this. But this is gonna be fucking points galore. There's gonna be so many points in this game. Like I honestly think it could be like 42 to 28. Like honestly, like I think the Seahawks could almost hit this over 48.5. I am going 5 units. Rams Seahawks, Falcons Seahawks. Sorry, the Rams were above that. Falcons Seahawks over the 48. Lock that shit in.
None of the things you're saying right now are making sense because you just said Falcon Seahawks. It's the Ravens Seahawks.
I don't know. I see Rams and Falcons above the games as I'm typing them in.
Let me help you out here. So DJ's trying to type and talk
Ravens,
at the same time.
Seahawks.
We're married men. We don't freaking multitask all that well. So I'm going to give DJ the out there. But DJ, let me tell you why I'm really nervous about this game. Because this is like the 3rd time now today where we're carding the same exact game. And on top of this though, you know me, the 1 unit guy. I put 3 units on the Seahawks here. And you can read more about my thoughts. Here's my little self-promo here. I did a top 3 games to watch, and this Ravens-Seahawks game is one of it, so check that out on loadedboxpodcast.com. That's going to be dropping shortly here. So you can read more there. But here's the thing. The Ravens have looked good when they have played trash teams. And I said last week, give them 1 more week. They play the Bengals. Shit's going to get real quick. It's going to get real quick in Seattle this week. Already a tough place to play. Already a good team. You got Russell Wilson, who, think about early MVP candidates right now. The dude's in your top 3. He has to be. Seattle's been able to be super balanced. I think they're 9th in rushing, 8th in passing. Those could be flipped, but they've been super balanced. They've been good at both. They played fairly well on defense. And here's a team, you need to play pretty good defense against. But at the end of the day, you need to stop the run and you need to contain Lamar Jackson as a runner. And I think that they have the athletes to do that. Dude, I would just throw Jadeveon Clowney in at like a spy. Lamar Jackson's obviously faster, but you let him have the angle. Clowney could eat Lamar Jackson in this game. He might just literally disappear after Clowney eats him. I'm taking 3 units on the Seahawks.
So I made this comparison earlier this year when we were talking about the Ravens. I think the Seahawks go up big early, and then as Blake Bortles, I compared the Ravens to the Blake Bortles Jaguars in that first season where they just scored a lot of points when they were down a lot at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what the Ravens are, and I think that's what they'll do. They'll be down a bunch. The Ravens score 21 points in the 4th quarter, but it doesn't matter at that point. It's over easy.
Yeah, because they're still down by 14, 20 points.
Yeah. Beautiful.
No, good call. I remember you saying that. We'll have to see if it comes to fruition here. We got 3 games left. This last one is Saints at the Bears. It looks like Trubisky might just be back. Don't know what that means, but he's back. Bears 3.5, over and under of 38.
I just got a text message from the person I gamble with. We gamble together. It's a whole thing. Anyways, he said that anytime he types in a capital B in his text message, it automatically corrects it to BYU. So you know that we're gambling all the fucking time. When it's just picking colleges up for you. Yeah,
I've been down that road. My phone, even yesterday, I was trying to say like good old boys. I was trying to say ol instead of old. My OL turned into a capital OL, like offensive line. I'm like, this is some next level, autocorrect. My phone is literally a football phone.
Yeah, I love it. It's a football phone. We need to create one of those.
Free phone football.
All you can do is we need to create a gambling phone for people who gamble so that they can pick that phone to gamble with and they can use their other phone for texting and shit. That's a genius idea. I'm doing it. It's done. Let's create this. All right, Sorry, Ravens, Seahawks? Wait, no, Saints, Bears?
You're all over the board. Saints, Bears, 3.5 over under of 38.
Here's what I've done wrong this year so far. I've bet the last 3-4 games against the Saints, and I have not won a single one. So I'm not going to do that. I'll say the Saints both ways just because every time I've picked against the Saints, which is literally the last 4 weeks, I've been wrong. So I'm just not going to – even if they lose, I'll feel fine because I've lost multiple times to them. I don't want to be the idiot who loses again. Mm-hmm. So Saints both ways just because fucking Saints, you know? They've been doing it to me. But it's going to be another card play for me.
It is?
Yes. Not for that reason. This game – what did I tell you about the Titans – game last week, the Titans-Broncos?
Expect I said it was the game to be 6-4.
I said they would be lucky to get 20 points. I don't think there was 20 total points in that game, if I remember correctly, but maybe there was.
It was like 14 or 16-0.
Yeah. I think this is the same game. I think I've been just on fire on unders so far this year. It's 38 points. They both. This is another less than 20 game. Neither team scores. It might be 3-0. It might be 3-0. The end of this game comes down to somebody kicking a field goal and winning it 3-0 under 5 units.
Your predictions are so precise this week. If this game ends 3-0, I'm going to think that you know more than what you should. This is one of those weird games where I'm taking the Bears straight up, but I'm taking the Saints against the spread because I'm with you. It's a 3-point game. One way or another. I'm not going to regurgitate every single thing you said, but the Saints are just a little bit more, I shouldn't even say a little bit more, they're a lot more competent right now offensively than what the Bears are. And the Saints defense, man, they have stepped up so well with Teddy Bridgewater being out, or with Breeze being out and Bridgewater being in. I did a little math on this one because I'm giving away my whole article here. The Saints-Bears was another one of my games to watch. Since Bridgewater has taken over as a starting quarterback, they have not lost, but their average margin of victory is 5.5 points. So even though they're winning, they're not winning by a lot. They haven't lost. So getting 3.5 points here, I have to do it. This is another one I kind of want to card, but I'm going to hold back for the time being. Maybe I'll make it like a Sunday game time decision. But as of right now, just going to take the Saints against the spread.
So that was beautiful. Let's go to the next game. I'm so excited for the last game that we're going to talk about that I just can't stop thinking about it.
Nice. Sunday Night Football. We've got the Dallas Cowboys favored by 2.5 at home against the Eagles. Over under of 48.5.
So I honestly my brain can't get off the next game, but so I'm just gonna make this really quick because I'm so excited about the next game.
Should we go to Monday night and just come back to Sunday?
Cowboys are going to have their bounce back. I think they cover, they win. They're playing at home against a really bad secondary. Dak can go off with Cooper. Is Cooper going to play?
That's what I was just going to say. Doesn't
matter. Gallup is out there anyways.
Yeah.
They have enough guys. It doesn't matter who's playing wide receiver. The Eagles secondary fucking stinks. Marcus Peters makes it just as bad. It doesn't help at all. So I think the Cowboys win this game.
This is the one that scares me, though, because I'm with you, especially because I saw this line open at 3, and I was like, you know what? I kind of like the Cowboys. It went to 2.5, and I was like, holy shit, I really like the Cowboys. But let's go back to the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott prior to Amari Cooper. They were basically a run team. Prescott would look okay now and then, but he never looked like the quarterback we saw towards the end of last year and earlier this year. And if Cooper doesn't play again this year, or this week, I should say, what are we going to get, even if it is against a terrible secondary? Like, you can't be terrible every single week. These divisional games, these rivalry games, this is for first place in the division. I don't see the Eagles just rolling over and letting just Dak do whatever they want. And the Eagles have the best run defense in the league. So are they just going to be able to get it done with Zeke on the ground? I'm not banking on that either. So I do like the Cowboys if I'm picking against the spread here, but there's no way I'm carding this.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to bet on it, though.
It's Sunday night. I'm going to bet.
Yeah, I've been waiting all day.
Well done. All right, the game you've been anxiously waiting for, an AFC East showdown with the Patriots going to the New York Jets. Patriots favored by 9.5, and over-under of 44. And I swear to God, if you do what I think you're going to do, you better get your damn math equation right for next week.
am telling you something right now. What happened the last time the Pats and the Jets played?
It was an ugly ass game. The Jets defense scored a couple of times, but the Patriots ultimately won.
So, let me tell you something. I saw the Pats play the Bills. I saw the Tom Brady do exactly what I thought Tom Brady was going to do this year against decent teams. He struggled. He looked like poop. They couldn't get anything going offensively. They couldn't do anything against a good defense. You know what the Jets are? They're a really good defense. But You know the difference between this game and the last game? Sam fucking Darnold. This is revenge. I'm doing it. I am going to one unit. I lied all five. I lied that they're going to be all five. I just got to this game. The Jets defense is going to shut down Brady. Sam Darnold is going to keep them in this game. He's going to have a lead at some point in the fourth quarter. People are going to be freaking out, and they are going to go. New York Jets fans are going to be freaking out. Fireman Ed is going to shit in his pants. He's going to have a boner all at the same time. It's going to be crazy. The Jets are going to upset the Patriots. And then they get maybe the easiest schedule. Do you remember the Patriots schedule the first 6 weeks? That's the Jets schedule, like the next 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, they play the Dolphins every week.
Yeah, they're going to make a run like you've never seen before. They're going to be like 2-3 games above 500, and they're going to be pushing for a wild card spot when it comes to the playoffs, to the end of the season, going into the playoffs. The Jets are beating the Patriots at home Monday night. One unit, money line, Jets. Lock that shit in. You put $100 on this game, you probably can win 1,000.
All I'm going to say is get your math equation figured out so we can do this, because if you lose a unit, you lose a unit. But if you were to win the money line on a game where you're getting 9.5, like the money line on this one is Jets plus 355. So I'm guessing the equation actually wouldn't be that hard. You might be damn near even for the season if you can win this one, DJ.
Dude, fucking Sam Darnold. I've seen enough. Going into the season, I told you I love Sam Darnold. I picked him up in all 3 of my fantasy leagues and just threw him in there on my bench. And, I'm ready to play him. He gets to play the easiest schedule in the world after the Patriots. We watched this guy come back off of mono and just shit on everyone. He played he had a 96-yard touchdown, for Christ's sake. The guy played out of his mind. That offense is not the same offense. Not even close. Sam Darnold is the MVP of the league. It's done.
That's so many hot takes.
He is, though. His most valuable player to his team. Aaron Rodgers was the most valuable player to his team for so many years. Now they have a defense. Obviously, he's still extremely valuable. They still lose a bunch of games because they couldn't score points without him, and they have no receivers. Who else is like that? Patrick Mahomes would probably be similar, but there's no single quarterback in this league right now. Andrew Luck was like that as well, who is more important to their team than Sam Darnold is.
I would argue that Tua is that important to the Miami Dolphins right now. Outside of that, yeah, you went hot take on me. Anything I say would be so underwhelming compared to what the hell you just predicted. You predicted a Jets against the spread pick.
I don't do hot takes.
This isn't
hot take. This is actual what I believe. I honestly believe that they are going to win this football game.
Well, your belief can be a hot take because you took them against the spread. You took them straight up, and you're sprinkling a unit on the money line, DJ.
I 100%. My word, hand on the Bible, I will be betting Jets money line on Monday night. 100%. I'll fucking screenshot it and put it on there.
Here's where I'll say that I'll agree with you, because straight up I'm taking New England. Against the spread, I'm taking the Jets. I'm kind of with you on that. Against the spread, I think the 9.5 is too much, especially if you can get the 10. Go ahead and take the Jets. It's at home. It was a close game last time. It is a good defense. New England's banged up too. They've got injuries mounting right now. They didn't look all that great against that game against the Giants we watched last week. They should have lost that game. Giants handed it to them. A defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown. 9.5 seems like a lot on this one. I will say that. I do got to give a quick. It's not necessarily pregnant wife advice as much as it is. Remember when we were talking with one of our writers, Ryan, about to-do lists that your wife gives you. I came home from work today with a to-do list, All the things on there were pretty reasonable. The fourth
Oh, the
one,
honey-do list.
yeah, there you go. The fourth one down the list was only poop in our toilet. Don't use any other bathroom. There's gotta be like a rule to the to-do list, right? Like it's almost like a to-don't list at that point. That is some bullshit. There's gotta be rules to this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna eat some fucking nasty ass food tonight. I'm gonna shit in every toilet but mine.
I think you should have taken. How did you not take a picture of that and post it on the page?
Oh, I was gonna say because we podcasted right when I got home. I'm gonna as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna get this puppy loaded. I'm gonna post that to Twitter. You can find it
I
there.
can't, like, just picturing Mel writing there. Oh, it's like standing there, writing on a piece of paper. Only poop in our toilet. Like I just picturing that is the funniest shit
It's terrible.
that I've ever like. I just want to see her like. What's going through her head? What does she look like as she writes the word poop? Like, I just want to know.
Well, if you want to see exactly what the note looks like, you have anything else for this podcast, DJ?
I hope. I wonder why you could. Why does it say why you can only poop in that toilet?
I know why. It's not that great of a story though, so I don't even want to. I'd rather just leave the story is at where it is. I'll tell you off air. How about that?
I just want it. But you didn't know ahead of time, though, right?
I could have.
She had to, or maybe she just thought you're so stupid that she had to remind you not to poop in any other toilets because this guy can shit anywhere. So let's make sure he only poops in our toilet. And therefore, it's all over the house. Only poop in our toilet.
Which is funny because you would think that she would want me away from our room, like for that, but no, it's not that as great of a story once you know why.
I wish it was like only poop outside because he's the only one who's allowed to poop and she doesn't want you using it, so you have to poop outside.
give it a year. I'm sure that's next.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, you can find all of our content and that photo that I'm going to post here in a second on Twitter.
There's poop in their toilet.
I'll post that if you need it. On Twitter, @LoadedBox. Check out our website, all of the articles that I was talking about, all of our podcasts, everything fantasy football, gambling, football that you need is at loadedboxpodcast.com. Our next episode will be back next week with our Week 8 fantasy football preview. Available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, rate, review. DJ, send us into Week 7.
Bye.